This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Well, here's a significant shift in the American market that's been building for some time. Kia surpassed Hyundai in sales for the first 2 months of the year. Hyundai sold 121,000 vehicles in the U.S. so far, while Kia sold over 130,000. Both brands set record sales in February, so it's not as if Hyundai is falling way behind. It's just that Kia is surging ahead. Warren Brown, one of our favorite auto analysts, took a look at the impact of President Trump's policies on the auto industry, and it's a bit of a mixed bag. Automotive production in the U.S. increased by 98,000 vehicles last year, but the industry lost 34,000 manufacturing jobs. Brown is forecasting that U.S. production will climb by another 118,000 vehicles this year, but employment will drop by another 4,000 jobs. Last year, automakers sold 16.3 million vehicles in the U.S., but Brown expects sales to come in at 15.8 million this year, or about 483,000 units lower. So here's the bottom line. U.S. production is up, but sales are down, and so is manufacturing employment. Vietnamese EV startup VinFast announced it's restructured its business into 3 automotive brand lines. VinFast is the mass market brand, Lac Hong is its luxury brand, and Green is its commercial brand. In addition to announcing its new structure, VinFast revealed 2 new models for Lac Hong, the 800S and the 900S. Those models join the flagship 900LX, which was introduced last year. Not many details about the new models were shared, but they do feature a tri-motor powertrain with 1 front and 2 rear motors that combine for 460 kilowatts or 616 horsepower. The 800 and 900S are expected to launch next year. Yesterday, we reported that the war in Iran pushed the price of oil up by $10 a barrel, hitting $72. This morning, it's up to $79. That's the price on the global market called Brent crude. In the U.S., West Texas Intermediary is about $5 a barrel lower than the Brent crude price. And we're keeping a close eye on this because if oil prices keep going up, it could have a significant impact on the mix of vehicles that the car companies plan to make this year. And that would ripple all the way down the supply chain. In the U.S., automakers plan to sell a lot more full-size pickups and SUVs after the Trump administration eased off fuel efficiency and emission regulations earlier this year. But higher prices at the pump could push consumers into smaller vehicles, especially hybrids. A rule of thumb amongst refiners is that for every $1 a barrel of oil goes up, a gallon of gasoline goes up 2.5 cents. Oil experts say the key thing to watch is whether Iran is able to keep the Straits of Hormuz closed and prevent oil tankers from getting through. Right now, nothing is getting through. And the experts say that if this lasts a few more days, oil prices will go higher. And that could send the auto industry scrambling to change its production plans.
Developing today's vehicles. Issues can happen in an instant. When's the best time to solve a problem? The minute you know you have one. Meet Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your secure, off-the-shelf solution empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
The Volkswagen Group saw its sales fall 8% in China last year, but it hopes that developing vehicles specifically for Chinese consumers will help turn that around. One strategy it's trying is to push the VW brand into a more premium space. And along with joint venture partner SAIC, it's launching a new flagship three-row SUV called the ID Era 9X. The model features an e-rev powertrain using a turbocharged 1.5-liter engine to generate electricity to send to either a single or dual motor setup and one of two battery sizes, roughly 51 or 65 kilowatt hours. A range of up to 400 kilometers or nearly 250 miles is expected with the bigger pack on the Chinese test cycle. The single motor variants are rear-wheel drive and make just under 300 horsepower, while the all-wheel drive version produces 510 horsepower. The ID Era 9X is expected to launch in China sometime this month, but no word on pricing for VW's new premium SUV. And while this seems like an impressive vehicle, it still might not appeal to Chinese buyers. Last year, Audi also went through a bit of a makeover in China in an effort to regain customers and boost sales. It ditched its four-ringed logo and changed the Audi name to all caps. It also launched a new affordable electric model called the E5 Sportback, which was developed with SAIC specifically for the Chinese market. And while the vehicle won the China Car of the Year award last year, consumers haven't warmed up to it yet. Between its launch in September and the end of December, only 6,650 E5 Sportbacks were sold, and sales didn't improve in January, with just 605 units sold. A buggy infotainment system and slower charging times compared to competitors are turning away some buyers. But the automaker is going to stick with its new approach for now. Volkswagen Group CEO Oliver Blume says the E5 Sportback, which starts at $34,000, is profitable and, quote, attracts precisely the young and tech-savvy customers we want. And in April, Audi will launch its second in-China for China model at the Beijing Auto Show, the E7X. The auto industry is going gaga over humanoid robots, and now Chinese robotics startup Agibot is planning to produce humanoids in Europe for automotive production. The company partnered with auto supplier Minth Group to produce its X2 robot, as well as train them for industrial applications for European automakers and suppliers. Agibot was founded just 3 years ago, but it's already entered mass production and delivered 5,000 humanoid robots. Agibot expects shipments of humanoids to ramp up in Europe within 2 years as more automakers and suppliers test them for their operations. Ford is selling new Supercharger kits for the 5-liter V8 F-150 and Mustang that add an astonishing amount of horsepower and torque. The core of the kit includes a 3-liter Whipple Supercharger, intercooler, and all the calibration equipment to make it work. It takes 2021 to 2026 F-150s from just over 400 horsepower up to 700 horsepower, and torque goes from about 400 pound-feet to nearly 600 pound-feet. And 2024 to 2026 Mustangs go from 480 horsepower to 800, and from 415 pound-feet of torque to 615 pound-feet. The kit itself costs about $10,500, but in order to qualify for the 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty, it has to be installed by a Ford dealer or an ASE-certified technician. While no word on how long installation takes, the instruction manual is 55 pages long. Plus, customers have to use special 5W50 full synthetic oil, which there can be up to 8 quarts of, and the system will only run on 91 plus octane fuel, including draining the entire fuel system. So, there's gonna be a number of extra costs. But that's a wrap for today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Alex Partners, when it really matters. CSP, the Composites Solution Partner. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And thanks to the following YouTube and Patreon members.
At CSP, We work with OEM engineers across the country on their journeys to lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly vehicles. Learn more at thecsp.com.
The automotive and industrial sectors are undergoing a historic transformation. Electrification, digitalization, supply chain reinvention, regulatory shifts. The pace is accelerating and the pressure to adapt is real. This is not a time for hesitation. It's a time for bold decisions, backed by fast, effective execution. You need a partner who understands complexity, from factory floors to boardrooms, and delivers measurable results. That partner is Alex Partners, when it really matters.